Good morning once again. Let's see, this is video 24. In video 23, we talked about Lucifer, Satan, and Caligastia, and how Lucifer decided to rebel against Michael, who is actually Jesus Christ, the Son of God, and how he talked Satan into joining his rebellion, and Satan came down to see Caligastia, who you know is the devil, also is mentioned in the book of Daniel as the Prince of Persia. And so rather than continue to talk about the rebellion in this video, because we can continue in video 25, I think what is more important to talk about is just how this rebellion affected you and me. If you notice, you look around the world, you have various types of governments. You have, for instance, in Russia, you have a dictatorship, although it's not technically a dictatorship, but there's one guy that runs Russia that won't let anybody else run it, so basically that's a dictatorship. In England, you have kind of sort of a monarchy. You have a queen and a parliamentary government, and then in America, you have a democracy. And you have these various governments working in the world, most of which, China is a dictatorship. North Korea is definitely a dictatorship. And so you have all these different kinds of governments in the world. Everybody has their own idea of how they want to govern, or perhaps maybe it's not the people who decide, it's the person who wields the most power decides for the people. But wherever you live, or whatever government you have, demonstrates just how the rebellion affected us. And then you go to religion, and you have over 1,000 religions in the world. A lot of them are Christian religions, and like the governments, when they try to get together and work deals out, they agree and disagree, and some governments won't budge, and others will. And it's the same way with religion. You take one Christian religion, and they don't want to talk to the other one because they have different ideas of who and what God should be, right? And so there you have it, over 1,000 religions, all disagreeing on the way they think God is, or God could be, or how to worship Him. You have some religions that believe that there's a Trinity, others believe that there's no Trinity. Some believe in a peaceful heaven, other people believe in hell, you know, so you've got a mix match of all kinds of different ideas of who God is and what his organization is all about. And you know, if you try to talk to them and reason out with them, they don't want to listen to you. They just want to know what they want to know, and that's it. And so that is exactly what the rebellion did to us. We're in a world where there's confusion, where people don't want to talk to each other. They can't agree upon hardly anything whatsoever. So you have groups of people that agree and they get together because they're like-minded, and you know, so it's all confusion. I mean, just discussing it sounds confusing. And that is what the rebellion did to this world. Because let me start out with rehashing how the heavenly government came here. You see, when a world has intelligent beings, or when intelligent life develops on a world, God sends a contingency of angels to help the world evolve, because everything in the universe is evolutionary in nature. Everything. And so when intelligent life developed here, Lucifer, who was actually doing a great job at the time, sent Caligastia here to our planet, which is actually called Urantia, because God named it Urantia before any life was ever on this planet. So Caligastia was sent here with 100 volunteers that volunteered to have their life transferred to bodies that were made for them out of the DNA of the people. At that time it was the Andon people. They took the best of their DNA, made bodies for these 100 people, or 100 volunteers, and they became half human, half angel. They came, and the reason for that was so that the people that were living here could see them and they could teach them. And at the time Caligastia arrived as the prince of Urantia, or actually in the Bible he is known as the Prince of Persia, because the first city, which was named Dalagastia, was in the Persian region, so thus he became the Prince of Persia. Okay, so he set up a government here that was represented by God, and his 100 volunteers taught the people about religion, about God, about the universe, and they were doing an excellent job for 400,000 years. They taught the people, they taught them how to farm, because when Caligastia got here, they were hunters. They taught them how to farm, they taught them how to trade, they developed a money system and counting system. They helped them evolve. And if you can imagine if the rebellion never happened, right, that eventually the whole world would have been one government, one religion, one language. We would all be getting along together. We would be much, much, much more advanced than we are now. And everybody would be happy rather than struggling to make ends meet. So for 400 years they did a great job in trying to help our world evolve. And then the rebellion. Right? And for 200,000 years that rebellion went on. So we had 400 years of making everything great and 200,000 years of destroying everything that they did in the first 400,000 years. So it wasn't until Jesus came down here, did his ministry, was crucified, and resurrected that the rebellion ended. Okay? So that ended 200,000 years of rebellion. 200,000 years of confusion. So now you understand just how bad that rebellion was and what it did to us. Because if it wasn't for that rebellion, we would all be getting along. And there wouldn't be all these religions or all these governments. There wouldn't be this constant fighting, and the world would be in peace. That is what the rebellion did to our planet. In video 25, we'll discuss how the rebellion developed. So with that, see you in video 25. Have a nice day.